See my brother, he is walking in the sun. His back is bare, he carries no burden for anyone. I see the island, a silver line. Brother, how you shine. And all around the light, and all around the light.
He had meant everything he said. He rejoiced in her discovery, in her joy, and in her love. People have the capacity to love many people. He knew that, but he also knew the unrelenting power of falling in love, and he knew the difference between the two. He had learned that the wild imaginings of the boy were just his past, calling out to him, like distant summer storms. He looked out of the grey stainless steel window into the steel-grey world outside. There's one coming now, he thought.
At the cottage, looking through the kitchen window, she is wearing the pajamas I gave her for her birthday last year. She's smiling at him. She pours a glass of wine. Her hair is disheveled. I see his eyes, my friend's eyes, as he looks down at her. I see them hug, I see them kiss, lightly. I see them part, I see them smile, I see his eyes, an embrace, her lips spread open to meet his. I see her eyes, I see them in passion. I slam my hands on the door window 3 times, really, really hard.
The lamps now glitter down the street. Faintly sound the falling feet, and the blue even slowly falls about the garden trees and walls. Now, in the falling of the gloom, the red fire paints the empty room, and warmly on the roof it looks and flickers on the backs of books. Armies march by tower and spire of cities blazing in the fire, till, as I gaze with staring eyes, the armies fall, the luster dies. Blinking embers tell me true, where are those armies marching to? And what the burning city is that crumbles in its furnaces.
My job is to look after you.
My brother says.
That's my job. See the car?
He says. Car?
No, that car.
Car?
That one there, the red one, like my lorry in my toy box. The red car, you see it?
Yes.
See that lamppost? The one on the end of the street? We have to beat the car to that lamppost. We have to run to the lamppost. Understand?
Oh, yeah.
See that? If we don't beat the car, we will die. If we don't beat the car, we will
Yes. Die?
die! Go, go, go!
Where are you now, Robin?
A road. A hill. I can smell the sea on the breeze. The road is steep. I'm 9 years old, and I'm pushing my bike, and my brother is with me. Is it still summer, Rich? Of course it is. Do you see those banks? That's called coarse grass. I like the sound it makes. It rustles. And I like screwing up my eyes. Like this, Rich. The sea is shining. Well, the flowers are fading. Not as green now, yellow around the edges. We're at the top. This is the top. That's right, isn't it, Rich? We're kings of our castle. Look at those butterflies, Rich, in and out of the hedges. The sea looks like glittering jewels. The earth is trembling. That's a heat haze. It's a summer wind. I can taste the sea on my tongue. Come on, he says, it's simple. It's the best way to learn. I'm climbing on. Now I'm scared, Rich. Then he pushes me out onto the burning road that twists downwards. Go, Robin, go! He's running behind me, calling after me. Look at me go! Woo-hoo! Wind whistling, hair flying round in the corner at the bottom of the first hill on that first bend. When Rich finds me, the bike is turned over, front wheel buckled, back wheel spinning. I'm draped over a barbed wire fence, my wrists impaled, crucified. Beyond the fence is a narrow precipice with fall frightful into the quarry below. And then I scream.
You were in that much pain.
It's not that. It wasn't our bike. Ba-ba-doo-down-be-down, ba-ba-doo-down-be-down, ba-ba-doo-down-be-down-down, ba-ba-doo-down-be-down, ba-ba-doo-down.
I should like to rise and go where the golden apples grow, where beneath another sky parrot islands anchored lie. And watched by cockatoos and goats, lonely Crusoes building boats, where in sunshine reaching out, eastern cities miles about are with mosque and minaret among sandy gardens set. And the rich goods from near and far hang for sale in the bazaar, where the Great Wall round China goes, and on one side the desert flows, and with the voice of bell and drum, cities on the other hum, hum, hum. Robin, can you tell me what it is?
Let me explain. I'm walking through the village ever since she left. Walking, putting one foot in front of the other, is comforting. The night sky is clear and the air is crisp. I'm still raw from the breakup.
Robin, can you identify what it is, your reticence in recalling?
I see the car parked outside her cottage.
This is the game of therapy, Robin. We talk. We talk about some things that are good, but we also examine some things that haven't been so good. You said you were concerned about the future. I think you actually said your daughter, Hannah's future. The incident, not that long ago, you said it happened because you weren't sleeping. You were hospitalized. Your stammer recently returned. You had stammered as a child, is that right? Can you tell me when the stammer returned?
No,
Why don't we go back?
I wasn't jealous.
Don't worry, it's just a question.
The question.
You know the one I mean?
The question you always ask your clients.
Question is...
Why am I here?
Correct. You are today's big winner. Why are you here, Robin?
I want to sing.
Sing.
But I can't. I have a block. If I had a passion, then music would be it.
Can you remember when this passion started?
Dreams change, right? For some people. And some have always followed the same dream. But what happens to those people whose dreams shatter and disappear like ashes in the wind?
There's wind on the river and wind on the hill. There's a dark dead water wheel under the mill. I saw a fly which had just been drowned, and I know where a rabbit goes into the ground. But everyone says, run along, run along, run along. All of them say, yes, dear, and never notice me. Everyone says, run along. There's a little darling. If I'm a little darling, why don't they come and see?
It wasn't my idea to come here.
Right. You were referred to me by Dr. Aziz. Is that right? This was after you had been admitted to the hospital, after your overdose.
Carelessness.
You had a similar episode in your early 20s, would that be right? My question is, again, why are you here?
I was told to come by my mother.
Didn't have to come, did you? Could easily have stayed away.
You don't know my mother.
I know you're attempting humor, darling, but please do not waste this nice lady's time by being facetious.
I was just stupid.
Well, could it be that you came because you wanted my help?
I don't need help.
Well, I think your daughter, Hannah, wouldn't agree. And what about your wife?
Ex-wife.
Oh, I thought you were still married.
I forget sometimes.
The sky had darkened. Light thickens. His body feels like paper, which may crumble, blow away in the summer storm. He should have ordered food. Instead, he sipped a coffee. Probably unwise. He should sleep. But then what dreams would come? The boy was stronger in those deep dead hours of night. The world tilts and fears, and the boy roamed free.
Are you okay?
Hannah, why?
Oh, because you don't look okay.
Late night. Did you do your homework?
Of course. I'm going out, by the way.
Back by 10.
Oh, Dad, there's no school tomorrow.
By 10, okay?
Jesus.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Can we go back to the beginning?
As in baby beginning? Colour's bright, taste strong. The world sparkles, doesn't it?
Just tell me what comes into your head. Your parents, what were they like?
Incompatible.
Your brother, tell me about him.
We're different, that's the problem.
Problem?
My father...
Your father had a vivid imagination.
My father didn't believe I was his son.
And did your mother say you're not?
Not to me.
You say your brother is different to you. In what way?
He called me delicate. His job, he said, was to look after me. That was his job. I had asthma and I stammered. One argument with my wife and now the stammer is back. Sorry, ex-wife. I forget sometimes.
Does that change worry you?
When I was 21, I was selling shoes. They sacked me on my birthday. I didn't react very well to that change. Not well at all. At the time, my best friend Michael was delivering packages for this music company. "You're a mess," he says. "Come and help me. We use bikes to get around. We'll start a company." So we did. The first dispatch company in London to have a team of bicycle couriers. The object of our company? To make money. So that one day me and Michael could go into the studio together and make music. Things went extraordinarily well. No internet, no fax. We were the quickest delivery service in London at that time. Michael thought I had a real gift for the business, but I was only 22. "You're trusting the wrong people, Robin. Giving equal shares, open communication, all that Trotsky idealistic rubbish won't work in business. Human nature won't allow it to work." Not working. We were booming. But he was right. All our controllers had their own client list, 35 clients each. One day I received a tip-off. 5 of them were planning to set up on their own and take their clients, our clients, with them. The day before they planned to leave, I called them into our office one by one. You know why I called you in here? Let me tell you. I've been monitoring all your calls, all your correspondence for the last 4 months. Shut up. Let me finish. All those clients you thought you had taken from me, stolen from me, I've spoken to them all. None of them are leaving. Not one. I've called you in here so I can see your face and tell you that you're fired. Get your things and be out of my building in the next 5 minutes. I don't want to hear it. Go now. They had no idea. After that, they said I changed. Nothing could bring me back, and the music died. Robin the Bank, they called me. One controller, Lenny, asked me, "Fuck's sake, Robin, you used to involve us in all the decision making. You used to make us feel we were a real part of this company. What the hell happened to you?"
What'd you tell him, Robin?
Things change, Lenny. Things change.
Can you explain yourself?
Well, you're my wife.
Ex-wife.
There was a car.
What were you thinking?
There was a car outside your cottage and it wasn't yours.
Robin, we are not together.
You and me?
We no longer exist.
I saw a car. I was worried about
That
it.
is not the reason you are snooping around my back door.
I know who he is.
It's none of your business who I see or what I do. Anyway, I'm not having this conversation. Go and see your brother. Stay with him for a while.
Why should I stay with Rich?
Because you need help. And that's all I've ever heard about for years now. Rich is doing this or acting that.
I haven't seen him for months.
Well, not to mention Christine. Oh, God, could never hold a candle to that woman.
Christine, don't be ridiculous.
The golden couple. Well, I have my own life now.
No, not just your own life. We still have Hannah. Now, part of the deal is...
Deal? Your precious money. The cottage is due to me for all those years I put into our marriage. our dead and forgotten marriage, you miserable bastard.
She needs you as much as me.
Deal. You always thought I was only after your money.
No, her welfare.
You believe that if that makes you happy.
None of this makes me happy.
Got what you wanted? Our daughter chose you. You won that battle. Accept that and deal with the rest.
I'm sorry, Hannah needs both her parents, even if they're apart.
Jesus God, you snuck around the back and peered in through the windows. If you had climbed the drain pipe, you could have seen us together.
No.
Together.
No.
Upstairs.
Oh, it's too
Fucking
late.
him.
No!
Fuck off, Robin.
Once upon a long, long time ago, in a tired old land called England, 1950s England, post-traumatic, post-war, last post-England, where the cigarettes were aplenty and the cocktail parties flowed, a vivacious, beautiful girl, just 18 years of age, followed, pursued, chased her dream to be an actress on the stage. Her first steps acting in a now long-forgotten play, she locked eyes on her director and fell in love on the first day. One thing led to another thing, as these things often do. One thing he should have cared about, as their passions grew, and soon she is expecting. There's to be a new edition, and the director decides to marry her in an act of great contrition. His reasoning is simple. It's quite a useful match. She's upper middle class, you see, an upward mobile catch. Both families are against the marriage, both shocked about the baby. His parents want him free of her. Hers want her to be a lady. Both try to dissuade against the unborn child, against the firstborn son. Both try to dissuade against the unborn child. They wish the baby gone. They wish the baby gone.
Where I go, he follows. Red and blue, red and blue. I wore red, Rich wore blue.
I could hear the bells from Shakespeare's church ringing in Easter across the river Avon. Rich was smiling. He was such a beautiful baby. We walked down to the river that ran by the theatre.
I wasn't jealous, just... I see her. She stands outside Stratford's Festival Theatre, the home of our acting gods. She gently removes her son from his swaddling clothes, lifts him high.
And I dedicate his life to acting.
I was born in Red Hill. There's nothing remarkable about Red Hill. There's nothing mythical about Red Hill. Red Hill is, in fact, a blank, a cipher, a nothing. Ba-ba-da-dam-ba-dam. Because sometimes real words won't do. D major. The key of triumph, of war cries and victory. Somewhere the first line hums in my head. Move the last finger on the E string to G. The feeling wistful, lost. I think of a little girl, my little girl, crying. Why? When I know the song is about me. In my head, the mother, my mother, repeat line, sighing, crying, said with head. To G, expanding the thought out to G major. Rustic, idyllic, lyrical. Sue with do, and then you. Back to the first phrase. Where do I go? Back to reality? No. Facing, that's where I'm at. Hard rhyme. The chestnut tree. It fits. Then repeat the last line. Sue with do, and then you. Sometimes the words flow in my head, and then you know, and you don't question. Ba-ba-da-dam-ba-dam. But I can't.
You said your parents were incompatible. In what way?
My mother's family were...
It's the 1940s. Britain is recovering from the war with Germany and Hitler. Hello, young man. Your mother's family weren't aristocrats by any means, but they've certainly had their share of good fortune. Cotton mills in Lancashire, homes in Cheshire.
My mother had an adopted aunt she loved called Black Mary. Very strict. My mother was never contrary with Mary.
A plantation in East Africa. And it's all we go and off to the dark continent.
My grandmother, she was Ruthie to us with my grandpa. Off on the ship to the plantation.
But what's this? A storm at sea.
A classical pianist. A piano followed her everywhere. Even to Africa.
Arriving in Kenya's 1930s white mischief crowd, infamous for infidelity, drug use, hedonism, and debauchery.
Grandpa ran off with another woman, the very grand and very married Phyllis.
So it's back to the old country they go. What happened to Ruthie, young man?
She lived a peripatetic life.
Playing in hotels and clubs with her sniper.
And your grandpa and...
Phyllis. She missed those Kenyan mountains. So my grandfather bought a 15th century cottage on the side of a Welsh mountain, where they spent the rest of their days with their African ivory, African paintings.
And their dusty dreams of a colonial life under an African sun.
What about your father's family?
The railway.
Every day, experiments are going on to discover ways of making rail transport quicker, cleaner, and more efficient. It's hard work, but it's steady work, for the railways have always had a good record over unemployment.
They worked on the railway.
As for the romance, well, it's still there, if you want to look for it.
The excitement of steel and track and the journey ahead. It's a glamorous world for boys, trains. Which boy wouldn't be excited? My father's parents live in a worker's cottage. 2 up, 2 down. Walk inside. The front room is immaculate, ready for guests. The back parlour, though, is the centre of the family home. There's the coal fire, coal from the coal cellar, the hot coal glowing. There's 2 boys bathing in a tin bath.
A year of high endeavour and progress, a year crowned with success for the people of Great Britain.
2 different classes. Family disapproval?
Nanny, my father's mother.
Too la-di-da, your mother. Putting on airs, I don't know what he sees in her, except the bleeding obvious. Trollop. My boy could have done a lot better.
For my family, he simply wasn't good enough. Rich enough. It was a relief to get away from them and their sanctimonious carping. We moved to the country.
We lived on a farm. Our bedroom all blue. The air was clear, fresh. The world was still new. There's an old tractor outside, abandoned in the bracken. Smells of oil, metal, hard and cold. But we're boys with no toys, and we play, and we play. The bracken's brown, making castles and dens. Roaming the fields, roaming the fens. Now, missing my brother. He has to go to a local school, and we had always played together. Somehow, I walk there, 3 miles away. I march into the head class. I'm Robin Hood, I say, and I'm looking for Richard the Lionheart. I'd run away. And I don't think my parents even noticed. They didn't notice at all. And then suddenly, my father got a job.
He's the man in charge, the boss. Oh, darling, we are going up in the world.
Director of Productions, a summer rep theatre on a holiday island. Watching plays, 5 years old. Our mother shimmered on stage.
Were you tempted to follow her?
No, I always wanted to sing. I have to sing.
I have two little boys. Richard, who wants to be an actor, and Robin, who wants to be a Beatle.
I hear sounds musically.
How do you mean?
Birds singing in the morning. A red car riding past. A hammer banging somewhere. A person laughs. I hear that as a piece of music.
I don't like small children.
King John was not a good man.
You can't communicate with them. I prefer cats.
He had his little ways.
White Persian cats. But I never stopped teaching them, showing them the world of art.
And sometimes no one spoke to him.
My method of discipline? Lock them away in their bedrooms and have them learn children's poems.
For days and days and days. I love the words, but I wanted to sing them.
So you knew.
Not like Rich. Rich always knew.
If I were a bear, and a big bear too, I shouldn't much care if it froze or snew, for I'd have fur boots and a brown fur wrap and brown fur knickers and a big fur cap. Sirrah, your father's dead, and what will you do now? How will you live?
She was called Stella.
Don't mention that name.
An older woman.
Much older. Your father, stupid as he was, mistook it for sophistication.
Stella by starlight.
But class always shines through, and her class was middling at best and deadly dull.
My father would sing it to me on the drive to their secret meetings. He took me along sometimes, but he didn't take Rich.
Rich would have talked.
Why did he take me?
To deflect suspicion, of course, but I knew. He confides in her. He thinks you're too young to understand. He tells you he loves her. Pathetic. I would hate him, but hate is a feeling, and I feel nothing for him. A traitor. Aye, that he was. And what is a traitor? Why, one that swears and lies. At the end of the season, I ran off to another island with the company's leading man. Much older than your father. He gave me what fuckface couldn't. Explosive orgasms that linger for hours. Now there was a man. When comes such another?
It was in our best interests, he said.
You didn't see your mother for a year after she left?
We kept asking, where is she?
And your father said, I would like to take you back to something you said about your father believing you weren't his son.
He believed.
Robin?
Let me explain. We are apart, but she has a cottage in the same village to remain close to Hannah. Steve's car is outside, my friend Steve. She's a lawyer, a good one, so my divorce lawyer tells me. Maybe Steve's come for some advice. Maybe. I can't sing. Not freely. Not without some barbed wire around my chest. I want to sing.
A long time ago, I was an actress. I loved acting with a passion, but I had to give it up. You see, I lost my nerve. I couldn't walk out on stage in front of an audience without throwing up in the wings, holding a glass, a cigarette, my hands would shake. Losing acting is one of the big tragedies for me. However, now I still go to the theatre. It hasn't gone from my life. What is it?
Furry knickers.
What?
Furry knickers! That poem! A bear wearing furry knickers! Can you imagine? Oh! It always made me laugh.
When did you know that music was what you wanted to do?
My mother's mother. She was the artist. Although she never let us call her grandmother, she was Ruthie. Earning her living playing show tunes in hotels and clubs. But she trained as a classical pianist. I wonder if she was happy. I mean, she had her music, but she could only play what she loved in private, with other friends.
What about you and music?
People say something is in their blood.
Who are they? Be specific, darling. Don't be lazy.
People! We had a babysitter.
Babysitters.
She loved the Beatles, T-Rex. A neighbor had a guitar. First lessons, House of the Rising Sun. But was it in my blood? I was jealous of Rich. Rich could always feel the past. Those travelling players before the theatres were built, whereas I never really felt I belonged anywhere. I need to talk to Rich. He's always known who he was and what he was. He belongs to the theatre. I need to ask him, why can't I have been born Catholic or Jewish? I just wanted to have roots somewhere.
So,
What?
when did you know that music was what you wanted to do?
My tea is nearly ready, and the sun has left the sky. It's time to take the window to see Leary going by. For every night at tea time and before you take your seat, with lantern and with ladder, he comes posting up the street. He comes posting up the street. Now Tom would be a driver and Maria go to sea. And my papa is a banker and as rich as he can be. But I, when I am stronger and can choose what I'm to do, oh Leary, I'll go round at night and light the lamps with you. We are very lucky with the lamp before the door, and Leary stops to light it as he lights so many more. And oh, before you hurry with your ladder and with light, oh Leary, see a little child and nod to him tonight, and nod to him tonight.
Hypnosis?
Well, don't worry, you're not going to be running around like a chicken, unless you want to be running around like a chicken. Would you be willing to try it?
What, run around the room like a... Oh, I trust you.
Good. The type of therapy I'm going to use is called regression. We'll be working on memories.
No, I'm uncomfortable with memories.
You should think of it as rescuing memories. All right?
Work your magic.
All right. Close your eyes and relax. Are you feeling comfortable?
Oh, you know.
Good. Remember, you are in control at every step of the way. I'm just a guide. Now, take a deep breath in through your nostrils. Hold it as long as you can. Then out through your mouth and say to yourself, relax.
I hear voices. I'm 6 years old, in the bedsitter in London. I'm with my father. My brother is away at boarding school. I'm on my little sofa bed and she is there.
Don't get up, darling. Sleep.
But I don't sleep. My father stands with his back to the fire. My mother kneels on the floor. She's crying.
Take me back.
She says.
Take me back. I wasn't myself. I lost the baby. Our baby.
My father sighs and shakes his head. And above I hear the laughter of a woman and a man. It's a house full of bedsitters like this one we're in now. And there's a meter for the electric and a public payphone in the hall, and the window rattles in the wind, and I feel very small in that house.
In that house where generations of people have grown.
I'm sobbing in my bed. No more, please, no more. But they continue talking in that house.
Is it a happy house?
Not happy, not happy, not. My father's like a statue. My father's like a stone. He says he cannot take her back. He prefers to be alone. He says it's just his nature, but she strayed, and that is that. She has been unfaithful.
So have you.
She cries.
So have you.
I try to block my ears, but their voices are too loud in my head. And the little one said, roll over. And I see their faces, and their faces I don't know. My father leaves the room. My mother stares after him. Now she is running past me as I sit up in the bed. What are you doing?
Rolling up my sleeves.
Mummy?
Oh, my blue cardigan, cashmere, so soft.
Mummy?
Now turning the tap. See the water flow.
What are you doing? Mummy, please.
I'll see you in heaven, darling, over in a...
Flash. I don't understand. Then I see the razor blades glinting in her hand. Her wrist under the tap. She looks at me.
I'll see you in heaven, darling.
Daddy, Daddy, Daddy! Down those stairs he comes, he runs, he grabs her arms, wrenches the razor blades from her hands. I put a pillow over my head.
Let me stay! Let me stay just one more night!
I can't!
Breathe.
Just one more.
Breathe. Breathe. Breathe.
And my father says,
breathe.
And my father says,
breathe.
All right.
Robin, listen to me. I'm going to take you deeper. Listen to me, not to them.
Down the drive. The manor house is ahead. Main building, 1930s mock Tudor. Red brick, black wooden beams.
A very regular feature on the face of the country, the school was. A great square house with a heavy portico darkening the principal windows as its headmaster's heavy brows overshadowed his eyes.
Walk up to the front door, imposing. Heavy oak, black iron latch opens with a squeak. Small and afraid, feeling. I'm standing there. Rich is next to me, holding my hand. I'm crying, waving to our father. Outside my new school, boarding school. I watch him drive away. I was 7 years old.
Breathe. And we're going deeper. We're going...
On a train. Rich and me. On a train, alone. Half term. Steam train. I'm not that old. We want the compartment to ourselves. It's cozy. A small reading light above our heads. We're happy. Escape from our boarding school. We're on our way to see our mother.
Faster than fairies, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and charging along like troops in a battle, all through the meadows, the horses and cattle, and we're free! And ever again in the wink of an eye, painted stations whistle by. At last, London appears. Dirty, busy, exciting. Over the river and into the station. And at the end of the platform, there she is. Glamorous, dark, big eyes of blue and welcoming arms, smothered in her kisses and drinking in her smell of cigarettes and perfume. She marches us to the
Taxi! No London Underground for us.
We are swept away to the delights she has prepared.
Here we go.
Shakespeare at the Aldwych.
1. Deeper, relaxed.
Opera at the Colosseum.
2. Deeper, relaxed.
Film at the Odeon at Marble Arch, the one with the escalator.
3. 4.
Always returning to Ruthie's flat.
Art and culture, so important for your young mind.
Ruthie's Steinway in the corner and the bust of Beethoven on top.
Your father can't teach you culture.
Now for lunch, roast lamb, mint jelly, carrots and potatoes mashed, chocolate mousse, cherry trifle and Coca-Cola.
Debussy, Mozart.
Ruthie on the piano.
You must write me a play.
And perform for them.
To the music of St. Anthony's Chorale.
Always the trip to Hamleys, the biggest toy store in London, and Pollock's toy theatre shop, and staying up late watching forbidden films, Hitchcock, Hammer horror. Our father would never allow if he knew, which he won't, because we'll never tell him, because this is our special time with her.
A warm summer breeze on your cheeks as you walk down. 5, 6, 7. Feel yourself going deeper. Totally relaxed. 8, 9, 10.